Welcome to the table. You are now listening to the Real Table Podcast with Michael Carter.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Table Podcast with your host, Michael Carter. And it is great to be here as always at the table, talking film, talking some television, talking everything cinema. And I'm so glad that you are here to join me. We got a few things to cover. There's some movies releasing. I know this past weekend Ballerina came out. That's the movie that is kind of a spinoff of John Wick. That stars Ana de Armas. I haven't seen it, and it's actually one of the movies that's just like not at the top of my. I gotta go see it as soon as it comes out. It's not on that list for me. Though I think it is one of those movies where I go in a couple weeks or maybe next week. I know my wife will be out of town, and so I'm like, next weekend when she's out of town, I got free time. I'm gonna go catch that movie, and I can catch it at matinee, and it'll be cool. So that's the kind of movie I picture That's the movie for me that I picture that movie to be. And so I'm like, I'm not rushing to go see that movie. And I've heard that some of the reception has been pretty good about Ballerina. I haven't heard that it's that it feels like a total departure from the whole John Wick series, but I hear like it's pretty solid. I haven't heard over the top raving reviews, but overall I've heard it's pretty solid. I'm curious to see what it does box office wise. It opened to a soft 25 million. It's not not competing at all against Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch 32.5 million. Jeez. Woo. And it's approaching 800 million globally, Lilo and Stitch. But I didn't think Ballerina had the juice. Ballerina doesn't have the juice, and this is no disrespect to the people that are really pumped about it. Ballerina just does not have the juice to go up against Lilo and Stitch, and I'm not sure most movies have that juice. So decided to opt out of Ballerina, and I was like, I'll wait to see it. I'll see it eventually. It's kind of like Lilo and Stitch to me. Not running to see Lilo and Stitch. Not even sure I would probably see Ballerina over Lilo and Stitch to begin with. But today I wanted to just talk about what's coming. Like we're really here in this summer season where you've got a movie like Ballerina, which is going to appeal to some people, and then this weekend you've got a one movie that's going to appeal to a big mass, and I'm excited to see how this movie shakes up against Lilo and Stitch. I think it should win the weekend. But along that, you got a few other interesting movies, in my opinion, that are also coming out this weekend, and then we're looking for July. Which is going to be a hot season with a bunch of bangers in July, and then August is going to cool off. Not talking too much about August because August is kind of where it cools off. September as well. You're not going to get that many great movies that people are interested in, and then we'll head back into October where things kind of go up a little bit more, heading into that holiday season. But 2025 so far, let's talk about it, right? We've seen some big surprises that came out of nowhere, and we've seen some movies that have performed probably as expected, but and then you have some movies that are like complete L's, right? Movies that are financial disappointment, turn out to be a bomb. So let's talk about some W's and some L's, right? Let's start with the L's. Let's start with the L's. I'll get to the W's in a second, but let's start with the L's. The L's. First on my list, which is interesting. I don't think it should be first. I could argue it could be second. I mean, it doesn't matter ranking-wise. But Karate Kid Legends. Karate Kid Legend is a fat L. A movie that I think when it was announced, the studio hyped it up to be this grand film, right? They said that we're going to do a nationwide search for this new lead that would star in this movie that's going to star Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, right? Turns out that's not the plan. That was never really the intention and the plan for the movie to actually be a really good product. And now I don't want to talk too deep into it as if I have seen the movie, but from the reactions, I saw maybe a couple people that have come out and go, this movie was good. It has some cool moments and this and this, and then I hear from everybody else this movie is a hot mess. Right, clocking in at just an hour and 34 minutes. Y'all, I remember when the Karate Kid, the Jaden Smith one that had Jackie Chan, 2010. I remember when that came out and people were pissed, about the movie, and they thought the movie wasn't that good compared to the original, it's not that good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think this movie, the 2010 version, makes this new 2025 version look so bad if this is the case, right? And now again, I'm as somebody who has not seen the movie, I feel like I can't give too much an opinion, but where there's smoke, y'all, there's fire, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. And if enough people are saying this movie is not good, then I mean that's just what it is, right? So I say this is an L. 110 million bomb global box office. It's a $110 million bomb. This movie's not going to make his money back. It's not even one of those movies where I think if it gets on digital, it's going to pick up and it's going to gain traction. No, I think the studio failed this movie ultimately. I think the studio failed this movie. I don't think there was enough promotion, enough traction. And even when the early reviews, early, maybe a month or two before it came out, there's some small reactions that people were saying it was not good. I knew from an instant, I'm like, that's just one reaction. But I'm like, the person that's saying that this is not good is saying it. I mean, they're tweeting it, they're writing it with some conviction. And it's like, I can't say too much about it, but they said it's not good. And so Sony Pictures, I think they've kind of they pooped the bed with this movie. The budget was only $45 million. 73.9 million at the box office, but I still think, when you keep in mind or the marketing aspect to it, even though I didn't feel like they did enough marketing for this film, it ultimately failed. Now, this is what I think the film's biggest problem was. I say a lack of promotion, and I also think of the fact that I think the movie, when you seen the trailer, it didn't offer anything different. The movie looked like the very first Karate Kid, which in my opinion was probably the worst route to go. It's like, oh, if you keep in the same realm, keep in the same box, and if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But it's hard to do. It's hard to live by that saying if you put out a product that's not worth it. A movie like that, I feel like a movie like this does not need to be an hour and 34 minutes. I think you can push that hour 45, right? Maybe pushing 2, right? The Jaden Smith one was 220. I think you could push the runtime a little bit more to make the movie more fleshed out and make it feel better. So I think the studio failed this film. I think the whole creative aspect of this film was a Debbie Downer. It turns out to be a Debbie Downer. They went to go look for this new actor, Ben Wang, who's this new guy, and I feel bad for Ben because this movie is not a hit, right? This movie is not a hit at all. And this, again, the press release for this movie, I remember distinctly. It was we're going to a worldwide search for this next lead role, for this next lead character, for the lead character in Karate Kid. And now, when you take a look at this film, it's like, no way they're doing a sequel. Even with the hype of Cobra Kai, right? From being on that YouTube TV original or YouTube original, now to being a Netflix original, like even with the hype of Cobra Kai, this movie has failed. And I think that people just smelled it. And audiences are smart. I think we forget that sometimes, and studios forget that. Audiences are smart. They can smell it a mile away. Right? Even if you are an IP like Karate Kid, right? Your familiar title. You have a familiar name. You have a familiar branding. You even had Jackie Chan, the legend himself, add in Ralph Macchio, the OG Karate Kid, and you still can't churn out a hit. Sony has failed. They failed that movie miserably. So that's easily one of the biggest L's of 2025 so far. Next big L, Snow White. If we were ranking this, I think Snow White would be number 1. Um, I'd even go as far as to say as Disney failed Snow White. I think, and there's I've talked to a few people about Snow White, and some people go, "Well, Snow White's not interesting. Nobody really cares about Snow White," and that's fair. But I think that's the exact pocket that Disney needs to press into, right? See, because now they could use this movie as an excuse. Well, a lot of people haven't resonated with Snow White. Nobody has. So we're not going to take liberties and take a risk on taking some titles that are not well known and turning them into live action. We're going to keep pushing our favorites, right? Our favorite titles, right? I think Disney failed Snow White. I think Snow White needed a better creative direction. Mark Webb, I think Mark Webb has gotten probably the worst end of things for his career. Mark Webb, I love The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I thought was not your fault. And I'd even go as far as to say this movie does not feel like it's Mark Webb's fault. This is another movie again where, again, there's only so much I can say because I haven't seen it, but it is undoubtedly an L from a financial perspective. It's just an L. I think Disney should have really pressed into a really cool, unique, creative realm. This was that movie, I feel like, where it was a good experiment for Disney to try a title that is not as beloved as Lion King, that's not as beloved as The Little Mermaid. Push it a little bit more on that creative side to make something really cool, right? I'll also go on and say that Gal Gadot, no disrespect, I love Wonder Woman, great movie, but Gal Gadot, or Gadot, I think Gal was a miscast. Seeing some of the trailers, seeing some of the scenes, some of the clips, Gal was a miscast. I think they needed somebody else with more juice to carry in that villain role, right? And now, again, there's a lot of stuff. I think there's a lot of layers. There's some boycotting stuff with Zegler saying some stuff about the Israeli and the Palestinian conflict, even Gadot saying some stuff. And so it's a lot of stuff I think played into the movie performing the way that it did. I do think Disney, though, creatively, as I sit and I've seen the trailers, I've seen the promotion, like you're seeing the stuff, the things, the product that makes you want to go sit in seats to watch the movie. I'm like, I think Disney kind of failed this movie, which on the other hand, this is why they kind of delayed all their live action development for the foreseeable future. But of course, that's going to change really, really quickly when we get to our W's. Snow White, a big L. Disney will be fine. They will make that back up. It was a financial failure, but they will make that back up. Mickey 17. Mickey. Now this was a film. This was a film that I quite enjoyed. I thought it was weird, clearly very weird, but I enjoyed the film. I thought it was fun. And that's what movies are all about, whether it's an amazing movie or not. You want to have fun. Bong Joon-ho, famous director for Parasite. He's a fantastic South Korean filmmaker. This one just fell short financially. No matter, I think it's I don't know if I would even call it a W from a reception standpoint. It was a lot of conflicting responses to mixed for this movie, but financially it definitely fell very short of something that could have been it's something. When I remember hearing this being announced, my first thought is Robert Pattinson's in it. I said, okay, this is going to be really cool. And it turns out it was different than I thought it was going to be. A dark comedy that has some cool action moments in it too. But I think overall, Mickey just didn't hit with the general audiences. And I would put Mickey in that L category. It didn't do amazing, but it also it fell. It didn't have a strong ending at all. Not a strong ending, a strong release. That's what I would say. A strong release. Mickey 17. If you're interested and you like black comedies, I said black comedy, but like a dark comedy, Go check that out. Check out E26. Could be fun for you. But yeah, I think so far in 2025, those are where our biggest L's really lie, right? I think these three films kind of embody the definition of an L, unfortunately. I didn't put this in L, but I put it in kind of like this idea of mids. Maybe it's we can call it a mid movie, and that's The Final Reckoning, which you can go back and listen to that episode. I thought The Final Reckoning wasn't it. I don't think when 2025 is all said and done, The Final Reckoning will not be in my top 5. It might not even be in my top 10. I'm already confident that I don't think it's going to land there, especially with the movies we have yet to touch in this year. I think it would be right there. It's not bad. It's not even a W, though. It's not a W. It had a good box office performance, great box office performance so far, but it's nothing impressive. It lands right here. It lands right in the middle for me, to where it was successful financially, but critically, I'm like, I can't give that much. Can't give that one much love. W's, right? We can't talk about L's without the W's, right? And most of these, I think most of them are surprises. You can argue. I think the only one that's not a surprise is Disney's live action savior. We'll start right there. Disney's live action savior, Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch saves the freaking day for the mouse. Because I guarantee you right now, development is going to start ramping up for these next live action units. Tangled was put on hold. Get Tangled running. And what's funny is I think Tangled will be successful if done correctly. I think it'll be successful. It's a title people know. You cast the right people, you put out the right promotional material, Tangled could be a hit. Hercules, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about Hercules. I know that was in the burner and they were working on it, but I don't know what Hercules is going to do. I'm unsure of Hercules. But Lilo and Stitch is just dominating the 2025 box office, right? I said it earlier. It's on its way to, I think, 800 million is what I said. And people are, again, I think because it's nostalgic, people know Lilo and Stitch. Like, I think this is an easy one of those movies that was just an easy kind of shoe in for easy W overall. It's on its way though to catch. Also, Lilo and Stitch's reception is, I think it's mostly mixed to positive. I haven't heard, again, it's one of those movies where it's like I haven't heard anything impressive about it, but people are going to see it because it's Lilo and Stitch. And Stitch was the biggest selling point of this movie, and I think they did a really good job on Stitch. And so people are going to see it, right? It's coming up on Minecraft, a Minecraft movie, which probably the biggest surprise of 2025, right? It is undoubtedly the biggest surprise of 2025. I don't think anybody expected a movie like this to do what it's doing, even with the reception. And I think this is the perfect movie to go. The reception is bad, but financially, it's doing numbers. People were seeing it to the 9. The kids, the teens, the memeable people, the people that love Minecraft are going to see it to the 9. Jack Black, Jason Momoa, I mean, Danielle Brooks, like, some notable people in that movie. But people are going to see that, and that's Warner Brothers' next biggest IP, and it landed really well. I still have yet to see it. I don't know when I'm going to see it. I'll probably see it sometime when it pops up on streaming. Another movie where I'm not in a rush to see. But a Minecraft movie, another dub, and this could be a big year for Warner Brothers. This could undoubtedly be a really big year for Warner Brothers, right? We'll talk about that. As we continue on. Marvel's Hidden Gem. don't know why I said gem like that. Marvel's hidden gem. Thunderbolts. A W for 2025. A movie that did well financially and did well even with reception. Killed it on both sides. Minecraft didn't, right? It didn't overall. I mean, you have people, the audience, you have audience people that loved it. You had some that didn't. Critics didn't really love it. Thunderbolts hit all cylinders. You've got all the audiences together go, the MCU is back. You have critics going, this is probably the MCU's most put together project in some time. Right? Big dub for Marvel on that front, which I cannot believe I forgot it. Captain America Brave New World, I would not put that as a W. I would put Captain America Brave New World as an L. I can't believe I missed that movie. That's probably precisely why it's an L for me, because it was forgettable. I thought more attention to the story, more attention to the different elements would have made this movie more of a success. Sitting at probably around 5, I think, box office wise. Captain America Brave New World will be an L for me. It would land in the L column. But Thunderbolts is a W. Big W for Marvel and Disney. And that too, right there, a big year for Disney, aka Marvel. Even with Captain America feeling more of an L for me, mediocre, I think Disney is going to redeem themselves coming up. What first started with Thunderbolts and later with Fantastic Four. The surprise hit of 2025, and I don't think this is one of those movies where you ask yourself, does Ryan Coogler have the juice? Does he have the juice? That's the question coming into Sinners. Does he have the juice? And we found out in March, Ryan Coogler, in fact, does have the juice. Ryan Coogler is probably one of the best young filmmakers doing it right now. He's one of the best. And he's taken himself to a whole nother level by putting himself out on an island away from IP, away from material that's been known, to create something original. Pair that with Michael B. Jordan in a solid cast, and you have probably the best film of 2025, arguably, right? I haven't seen everything, but slot that in there as one of the best films of 2025. Easy. So good that they had to re-release it in IMAX for just one weekend, right? I think if Universal, which let me fact check to make sure this is a Universal film. I keep forgetting if it's Warner Brothers or Universal. I need to just pull up my letterbox. I don't have my letterbox pulled up. Warner Brothers. I don't know why I thought it was Universal. Maybe because Nolan's at Universal. I think that's why I got that confused. Nolan's at Universal, but this is a film from Warner Brothers. Again, Warner Brothers is off to a big year. Minecraft, boom. Sinners, which was a surprise hit. I think Minecraft always had juice. It always had juice because you have the people that love the memes, that play the game still. Minecraft has been being played probably since I was in middle school. Minecraft has been around for a long time, over a decade. And Sinners, biggest hit of 2025, easily. Right? A W. Right? A W. And now I think Ryan Coogler has undoubtedly solidified himself as one of the top directors and top filmmakers in Hollywood. Now, this isn't nothing new. This is nothing new. Why? Because when Sinners was being developed, or when it had already been written, studios were bidding again over this film. All the studios were bidding to get to this film. It was already there. They knew what Ryan Coogler was. They knew what they had in him. Right? Pair that with Michael B. Jordan was producing it. Did he produce it? Michael B. Jordan didn't produce it, but he was already linked to star in it. They knew there was a hit. Warner Brothers won the bidding war, and now Warner Brothers is going to have. They could arguably have one of the best years of this year between them and Disney. And I could be completely wrong, but I think them and Disney. It's going to be really a fight match right there. It's going to be a fight match. Those are our W's so far this year. And I love it. Right? Not big on the Minecraft train, not big on the Minecraft circle, but I love to see a movie like that that's getting the young kids to go, I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to go see a film. I'm going to get off my screen, my telephone. I'm going to get off my phone. Yes, go to another screen. Yes, get in front of another screen. But the theater reaction, the theater camaraderie from some of the videos, which some of it is kind of like, shouldn't be throwing popcorn. But the atmosphere in those movies makes me go, man, this is what it's about. This is what cinema is about. So, what's next? Right? What's next? Well, I think I got some future W's on the horizon. Now, I'm not going to talk about the rest of 2025. Let's look about the next couple months, right? We're about to start getting to the rhythm. We're about to start shuffling our feet. It's about to start going. The big ones are here. We're getting there. If you're watching this, I think by the time you're watching this, or if you are watching this, Amazon is doing a sneak preview showing, not a sneak preview showing, but they're doing like an early screening of Superman in certain theaters, and they're giving away tickets for free. Not for free, you have to buy them. But if you're a Prime subscriber, you get access to those tickets. And so, like, we're ramping up. Fantastic Four tickets went on sale, right? Had the biggest pre-sale on Fandango of the year. So, like, the juice is here. The energy is here. The drive is here. And I think we can already spot the W's, right? Let's get it going. Looking at July, Superman, Fantastic Four, F1. Easy. F1's in June. But those three. I might even add Jurassic World. I think I'd add Jurassic World as a W. I'm weary of it. But I think Jurassic World's going to have a W, right? I think that one's going to be in the W column. Let's start with Superman. Superman's easy. Again, those Amazon pre-screenings, right? If you're a Prime member, you get access to it. You see it a couple days before it actually comes out. The marketing behind that, they're really pushing crypto, but at the same time, they're really pushing David Cornsweet as Superman. As Superman. They're pushing him, and the marketing behind the movie just looks really inspiring. It looks like everything I think part of me wanted Superman to be all along. And this is no disrespect to Man of Steel, which I own. I even own Batman versus Superman, even though I don't love the movie completely. I own it for the Batman scenes. But this movie feels like this is what we need. And this is what Warner Brothers needs to. And this is what they need for these DC films to deliver. They need people to believe and love Superman. And it's been a long time. I'd even argued that even though I love Henry Cavill and I love his portrayal of Superman, Henry's character and portrayal of the character and the writing of the character didn't have the juice to bring people along to go, Superman's the guy. Not Batman, right? Superman's the guy. He's the lead. He's him. Right? People can argue Batman's always been him, and he has. Batman's always been the guy, but at the same time, it's Superman. Superman's the forefront of the face of DC and decent comic books, right? But then Batman has come along in movies and wiped the floor. Can James land it? I think James Gunn is going to get it done. I think he's going to get it done, and Superman's going to be a hit. Now, again, this is where it gets hard. How much of a hit? Like, does it win 2025? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Word of mouth is going to be huge for this movie. I think there's enough people catching eye of this movie that are going to be really attentive to it. We'll see. I think on Wednesday is when the actual tickets go on sale for the regular showings. We'll see on Wednesday how those pre-sales look. And I'm not saying it's indignant. It has an indication on what it's going to be like, but I'm like, Fantastic Four did some numbers on Fandango. Like, they reported that. It's been a while since we've seen a Marvel movie or a superhero movie of this caliber have some type of hype behind it. So now we're going to look at Superman and go, is there hype behind Superman? It'll be nice to see. I think Superman's going to do well, but Superman's going to be a W. Fantastic Four. I just said it. When those tickets went on sale, highest selling movie on Fandango. Pre-sales for Fandango. Fantastic Four is a W. It's a W. Coming off of Thunderbolts, I'm curious when Thunderbolts gets on Disney Plus, what kind of traction we'll see. Will people buy into it and go, I'll check it out? I know quite a few people that were on the Marvel train that have sat out for a while, and they ask about Thunderbolts, and I go, you need to go see Thunderbolts. And I think when it hits Disney Plus, I think you're going to get quite a few people that are going to go, okay, I'll look at this. Especially with Fantastic Four coming up on the horizon. If Fantastic Four turns out to be great, turns out to be as glorious as these trailers has looked, and the promotional material has looked, I think Marvel, I mean, I've been saying that Marvel's back, but I think Marvel's in probably the best spot it's ever been in. Not ever been there. Best spot it's been in a long time. In a long time. Cool. F1, Brad Pitt, Damon Idris, directed by Joseph Kosinski. I've been high on F1 for a long time, mostly because Joseph Kosinski's behind it, and that's an easy that's an easy sell for me. I mean, he's behind that. I'm like, I gotta go see it. But it's an Apple movie, from Apple Studios, and think Top Gun, Maverick, but racing, F1 racing. All right, that's what this feels like. Definitely different story, different concept, but you got Brad Pitt, Damon Idris, who's not a huge name yet, but he's coming. I think this movie might do it for him. Kerry Condon, Javier Bardem. I mean, I like what this movie brings. F1 is super popular right now. The reviews so far have been high, folks. The reviews have been high on this. And watching Apple's presentation today, the beginning of it, what was the first thing that they brought up? F1. They promoted the hell out of F1. F1 was up front in the very beginning of their whole little presentation today. Why? They believe in the movie. The reviews are good. And they want this movie to be a hit. F1's going to be a W for me. I think it might not come right out the gate strong, but I think the word of mouth. Because how I'm selling the movie to people, I'm like, you like Top Gun Maverick, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you might like F1. It's directed by the same guy. And my good friend, Cornelius, he's been on here, Corn, who's been on this podcast. When we were talking about earlier this year, when we were talking about our movies we're most looking forward to, I remember I mentioned it to him, and then ever since he saw those trailers, he's like, dog, I'm so pumped for this movie. I'm going to IMAX to see this movie. I'm going to IMAX. So I'm like, yeah, bro. I told you this movie's got the juice. That's gonna be W for me. Jurassic World. I think it's gonna be a W. People love dinosaurs. They love Jurassic World series. Gareth Edwards is a solid filmmaker. I love his visual, work. Sometimes people have thoughts about his writing at times, but I think this one should be fun, undoubtedly. Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, who's coming off of Wicked, gets to be in this project, and then he has Wicked later on, Wicked for Good later on this year. Mahershala Ali, Academy Award-winning actor. Like, I think this is going to be a good movie. It's going to be fun. If anything, it's going to be thrilling. And I think this movie has the chance to put Jurassic World back where it needs to be. I think Jurassic the Jurassic World franchise lost its way with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World Dominion. I think it lost its way. The box office was there. It was a W overall for Universal, but it lost its way. I think it's going to figure itself out story-wise. The box office results should be here. But if the box office results don't come, that's going to be interesting to talk about. That's going to be interesting to see if it doesn't happen. I think Jurassic World does well. That's going to be a W for me. I guess you could put How to Train Your Dragon as a W. I think people are gonna like it. They're gonna draw to it. I think it's gonna make money. I'm weird about it. I'm weird about How to Train Your Dragon right now. It's not on my hots list, but I think you could put it at W. It's gonna be a success. It's gonna be a success. L's. Got future W's, and you got future L's. Let's start with number 1. I love Disney, and Disney has figured itself out on that live action front. Lilo and Stitch was a great savior. But man, Disney has a problem at Pixar. I'm going to say this one more time. Disney has a problem at Pixar. Elio is due out in June. I've heard no murmurings about people being excited about this movie. I've heard a lot of people, I've seen a lot of tweets about people being unsure what this movie is. Disney has a problem at Pixar. And for me, I think I'm upset about it. I thought Soul was good. I thought Turning Red was good. I even thought Luca was good. Right? I thought those movies were solid. I even thought Lightyear was good, which people have problems with, and it's whatever. But I thought everything that Pixar kind of has put out, for the most part, has been super solid. Elio, they haven't been able to sell me on. And again, you're combining that with, I have yet to hear people going, I want to go see that. I'm hearing people talk about the Wicked trailer. Wicked has more draw. Wicked just came out. I get it. But nobody's talking about Elio. Right? Nobody's talking about, Elio. They're fantastic. I'm hearing more people go, yeah, I want to see Fantastic Four. I haven't heard that much reception about Marvel movies, but people are like Fantastic Four. Nobody's talking about the new Pixar movie. I'm worried about Pixar. And I'm worried, and no, it's not. Let's wait till Toy Story 5 to come save the day. Let's not wait till The Incredibles 3, which I'm pretty sure that was announced. Incredibles 3 to come save the day. Pixar was at the height of its peak because of its innovation and its space to tell creative stories. Turning Red did that. Argue with a wall. Soul did that. Argue with a wall. Luca did that. Argue with a wall. Lightyear was more of a spinoff. There's some originality to it. But to see a movie like this, it's supposed to be a new original, and to see that this movie could 100% flop sucks. It sucks. Now, the only hope we have is that Elio is a Minecraft. Right? We all know Minecraft has juice because it's Minecraft. But the only hope is that Elio has juice because it's Pixar. Elio has juice because word of mouth. Enough people go see it and go, you've got to go see this. You've got to go see it. I'm not getting that vibes. I'm putting it as an L. It's a future L for me. I think Elio needed more promotion. And I don't know if the story was interesting enough to be resonated with people. Pixar needs one, right? Not an Inside Out 2. That's a sequel. That's easy. I think that's easy money to go. We can plug a solid story into a sequel to make a new one. I think it's too easy. Where's the originality, right? And we're missing that right now. And I think I don't think Elio will be able to do it. I want to be wrong. And if I am wrong, you're going to find me right here on the Real Table Podcast, and I'm going to say it. And I'm going to actually be overjoyed that I was wrong. Okay? Life of Chuck. I've been weary about Life of Chuck. I'm only weary on the financial side of Life of Chuck. I don't know if it's going to be a financial hit, but it looks like it has enough heart to really poke at some strings. Tom Hiddleston, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillian, Jacob Tremblay, Mark Hamill, right? It looks like it's going to be one of those heartwarming movies. I like the trailer. The trailer looked good. The trailer looked like it's really going to tug on those heartstrings. Financially, I don't know if it's gonna hit. I'm only putting it at L because I think it's financially not going to really resonate with people. But I do think this is one of those movies, though. This is one of those movies that, if it is good, if it finds its way on a Netflix, if it finds its way on a Max or a Prime, if it has enough juice, people will go see it. People will find their way to watch it. They'll watch it. They'll stream it. Right. Right now, I'm going to leave it as an L. I think this is a future L, especially financially. Critically, I think it could have some juice. It could have some juice. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know right now in the next couple months if we're going to see any more crazy strong L's. Unsure about 28 Days Later. It could fall in the L category, but it also could be a huge W. It depends on how many people love the original movie, love the first movie enough. Love 28 Days Later. If they love that movie well enough to go see 28 Years Later. The movie does look like it's going to be very interesting. Very thrilling. We'll see. I know what you did last summer. I'm like, I don't know if that movie's gonna have the like I said, the juice to really do something there. We'll see. The Materialist, right? That opens up this weekend. The Celine Song, Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, romantic comedy, which I've been hearing is really, really solid. People have been resonating with it, but again, I want to see what the rest of the people think and how it feels in order to know what's going to happen with that. But The Life of Chuck, The Materialist, and How to Train Your Dragon. That's How to Train Your Dragon is this weekend. Speaking of, this is a perfect segue. Let's look at what's to come for the next couple of months. But again, How to Train Your Dragon, Life of Chuck, The Materialist. That's this weekend. How to Train Your Dragon should win the box office strong. 28 Days Later is June 20th. We'll see what that does. We'll see if there's enough interest in it, if there's enough traction behind it. Leo, same day. I'm not very uncertain about Leo. We will see if it can compete with How to Train Your Dragon. Right? How to Train Your Dragon, you're really going to appeal to people that grew up on that animated movie, people who have since watched the animated movie in the last 5 years and have come to know it and know that series. We'll see if Leo has a shot. I'm not sure if it does. I want to be wrong though. June 27th, we have F1, which I'm really excited about. Pumped for that movie. In July, we got Jurassic World, July 2nd. Superman, July 11th. I Know What You Did Last Summer, July 18th. And then Fantastic Four, July 25th. And then again, August in September. It's got some films. Excuse me. It's got some films, but nothing crazy. But I'm curious. What are your thoughts? L's, W's. What do you think is going to be successful? I'm really curious. How are you feeling about Fantastic Four? Are you not on board yet? Are you still on the fence? Let me know. Superman, F1, Elio, Life of Chuck. Watch that trailer if you haven't seen it. The Materialist. All those movies. Let me know what you think. I want to hear what you think. I really do. Okay. Last week, one of the biggest trailers of 2025 released, and it surpassed its predecessor when it comes to trailer views. Let me see if I can find it. 113 million views. The first film trailer earned 75 million views over the same time frame. Wicked for Good. I'm talking about Wicked for Good. I'm talking about the movie that possibly could be the movie of 2025. From a critical standpoint and from a reception standpoint. Critical standpoint, reception standpoint, saying the same thing. the reception standpoint and financial standpoint. Wicked for Good has a chance to be the movie of 2025. When I saw the trailer, to be honest, I was definitely blown away. I was so surprised because last year, me and my wife were on our way back from my in-laws, and we were listening to the Wicked soundtrack. And I hadn't heard Act 2 probably in years. I've seen it on Broadway, and I haven't heard Act 2 in years. And so for me, I didn't think the songs for Act 2 were better than Act 1. But what my wife has been telling me is that Act 2's, the moments in Act 2, the whole plot line that keeps, obviously it's the same plot. It's just the continuation from the first act. The second act has so much in it and so much good stuff in it. For some of you that know, No Good Deed that's the song. Actually, no, For Good is a song. But No Good Deed is supposed to be one of the biggest moments of Act 2, or Act 2 in part 2. So for me, I was on the fence. She'd been telling me. And so we watched the trailer together, and oh my gosh, I was like, that's probably the movie of 2025. That's probably the movie that's going to have the most juice at the box office. That's probably going to be the movie that's going to do it, right? I did have to take a step back and go, I forgot about Avatar. Avatar 3, right? Fire and Ash. I forgot about that movie. We still got Fantastic Four. We still got Superman. F1 could be that surprise one too. Forgot about F1. How to Train Your Dragon comes out this weekend. Quite a few movies. Zootopia 2, which I thought comes out next year, but it comes out this year. So it might not outright win, right? Might not outright win. But again, the trailer for me, I'm like, dude, I'm just thinking of last year how I think Wicked blew people away. We know the name. We know it's a Broadway musical. Broadway musicals that turn into movies usually don't do super well. In the Heights was generally received well, but didn't do well. We can blame it on a pandemic. Sure. I think the numbers are the numbers. It didn't do well. But Wicked did really well. Wicked did fantastic at the box office. And even the reception, too, behind it was pretty strong. So now we sit and we go, okay, can Wicked for Good do that? Can it surpass part 1? I think it can. I have high hopes for it. All the aspects of this movie seem like it's really about to get heavy. I think this plot and this story is about to get heavy. And obviously I won't say so much for people that haven't seen it. I think this is going to get heavy, and there's going to be some moments where I really want to see if Cynthia has that in her. I think the way she played Elphaba in part 1 was beautiful. Can she dig deep for part 2? Can she do it? Right? We all know what Ariana can be, but I think this movie is going to be Cynthia's chance to shine. Excuse me. So, blown away by Wicked trailer. And it makes me go, okay, this could be one of the best movies of 2025, undoubtedly. High hopes for Wicked. High hopes for Wicked Part 2. Or, excuse me, Wicked for Good, which is due in November 21st. It's the same weekend as last year. So the feels and the feeling of, where you were. Me and my wife got to see it early. Luckily, we got to see it early, and we were blown away. By the first one. And so this is coming out the same time, so the feels are going to be there. You remember where you were when you saw it, whether you waited or not, whether you went. I know I saw it twice. This is going to be the perfect holiday movie. Perfect holiday movie for people to get together, right? So It's going to be really interesting to see. Does it have do people care enough or care that much deeply or care deeply enough about Wicked for it to have juice, right? And here's the kicker. Zootopia 2 comes out November 26th. Wicked comes out November 21st. Zootopia 2 comes out November 26th. I'm really skeptical on Zootopia 2. I know they released a teaser trailer, but the teaser trailer didn't do anything for me. It was more of these characters and they're coming back. Like most animated teaser trailers, like most animated movie teaser trailers. That's what it was. So it's going to be interesting to see if Wicked for Good is good, y'all. This is my thing. I get it. It's Disney and Zootopia's kids. If Wicked for Good is good, like if it is as good as the first one or even better, and if it has moments that really pull people in, if those 2 original songs, which are big now for me, we've seen the trailer, we've seen what it has, I need to know if those 2 original songs are good. That's going to say everything about Wicked for Good for me. If the 2 original songs are good, and if the movie moments and the scenes and the feel of the movie is as good as part 1, I love Disney and I love Zootopia, but watch out. Watch out. Because don't get me wrong, Zootopia is going to get its coins. The kids are going to go see Zootopia. Not all the kids are going to go see Wicked. But the last apartment I was at, where me and my wife was at before we moved, and below us there's 2 kids. 2 young kids. I swear, about a couple times a week, maybe 3 times a week, I would hear the overture of Wicked being played because they were watching the movie, right? I would hear their overture. I would hear No One Mourns the Wicked. I would hear those songs because those kids were watching the movie. That's that pool, y'all. Right? That's the pool. There are kids that are young that are eating Wicked up. And I'm interested to see, again, with Zootopia on the 26th and now Wicked on the 21st, this is going to be a battle for the ages. A battle for the ages. And I'm excited. This makes me overjoyed. This is exciting times, guys. This year is exciting. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of good product out there. If you don't like any of it, I'm so sorry that you don't like any of it, but I love it. I'm excited about it. So, Wicked. I'm hype. I'm really excited about it. All right. I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for listening. But one more thing I forgot to mention. I won't dig deep into it, but the Harry Potter HBO Max TV series, or is it an HBO? I think it's an HBO series, but it's going to be on HBO Max as well. That series is getting traction. They found the 3. They've been casting left and right. We're learning about who this new casting of characters are. Excuse me, which, to be completely honest, it doesn't matter. I think at the end of the day, it does matter. The finished product matters. Who you cast in these characters or who you cast in these roles. But it's not about names, right? Because obviously you're going to be casting young actors and actresses that haven't done it before. They're casting a young group of people and newcomers, right? That are going to take on these roles and take on these beloved characters in this story. But they finally announced the 3 main leads. And they finally found them. Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter, Arabella Stanton as Hermione Granger, and Alistair Stout as Ron Weasley. Like, to be honest, this doesn't make me hyped, doesn't make me excited. The picture of them is cool. It's cool to see them, and it's like, oh, they look cute. They look like they fit the part. Middle kid, the guy that's playing Harry, Dominic McLaughlin, he looks like Harry, right? Arabella Stanton gives off Hermione Granger vibes. right? And maybe that's because we've seen Emma Watson in that role at one point. But still, she looks like she could be Hermione. And then Alistair Stout as Ron Weasley. I'm like, you got that ginger haired kid. It's, perfect. So it'll be interesting to see the finished product. They're rounding out the cast. There's been many, many more people being casted. I won't say everybody's name. The Dursleys are getting casted. Draco and Lucius Malfoy is getting casted. Like, there's a bunch of people getting casted, and it's kind of exciting. Because I think this, in my opinion, this could be really, really good. I've said it. I'm not a fan of the Percy Jackson series. I wasn't a fan of season 1. And in my mind, I've probably said it a few times on this podcast. That HBO and team are watching Percy Jackson, a young novel, a TV show based off of a novel, a young adult novel. No, not really young adult novel, just novel, but based off of a book about a group of kids, and they're watching this to go, is this what we want our series to be? Is this a do or this is a don't? And I undoubtedly, and I could be very wrong when this comes out, but I think for sure Warner Brothers has looked at that Percy Jackson series and go, oh, we can do better than you guys. We can do better than you, Disney. Rick, we can do better than what you've done producing this show. We can do a lot better. And so, again, I'm curious to see how this comes out, because there's a lot of promise here, because as many people who watched Harry Potter could tell you, there's so much that's not in the movies, and there's things that are left out, even though that series is one of the best. It's one of the best. All right, that's it for the Real Table Podcast today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, like, subscribe, even comment your thoughts. I want to hear some of your thoughts and your opinions on certain things. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the Wicked trailer. My W's, my L's, my future W's, my future L's. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, all right? That's it for the Real Table Podcast. Y'all be safe out there. I will see y'all real soon. Peace. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today on the Real Table Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. I want to hear your thoughts and I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Real Table Pod and on Twitter at The Real Table. And don't forget to also check me out on therealtable.com for news, articles, and reviews. I will see y'all soon. Peace.